Hey guys, welcome back to the Rabbitat Homestead. Well, today I'm going to wean 3 litters of rabbits. They're all the same age. They were just born a few days apart, one right after the other. But I'm going to bring you along for that. I'm also going to be rehoming one of my does that I kept, and I'm going to show you the new doe that I'm going to keep as a breeder. So one of those babies that I'm weaning today is actually going to end up being a breeder, and I'm going to rehome its mom, Stormy. So I'll bring you along, show you what I'm going to do. I've done videos on this before, but I figured why not? I'll just kind of go through it again with you and show you standard practice when weaning rabbits. So as I'm walking over to the rabbits, you will see in the hutches they may be low on water, or they may not have any hay in these videos at the beginning, and that's just because I've come out here, first time I've come out here this morning, and I want to get everybody weaned and taken care of, and then I'm going to do my rounds and make sure everybody has what they need. All right, so in this grow out hutch here, I have my pure silver fox doe Thumper. I believe she has 5 kits in here, and I have Lucky. She's my brown doe, and she's half silver fox, half Rex. And I always breed her. I have 2 full silver fox bucks, so her kits are always obviously more silver fox than she is. But I kept her because she just has a really good temperament. She's a great mom, and she's brown, and I really like brown rabbits, which is why I'm keeping another one, and I'll kind of go over that with you in a few minutes. But I believe both of them have 5. Lucky, she just recently lost one. Even here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. I got 5 grow outs in here right now. I'm gonna move them over, and I actually already rebred mom. I rebred her last week. I wanted to breed her earlier when her kits were about 6 weeks old, but I just didn't get around to it. But she's rebred, and she'll be having babies within the next 3 weeks or so. So she's ready to go. I'm going to take 4 of her babies away from her, leave 1 in there for a few days just to make sure everything dries up, and it's not a shock right off the bat for her if she is still nursing. But typically, from my experience, they're not nursing when they're 8 weeks old. They just kind of wean themselves off of it, especially if you give them lots of food, and they're already drinking water. So you can see I have 2 water bottles on this hutch. They've just, every time I would come out here, the one would be empty, so I ended up adding another one, and that works out really well. Thumper's kits over here, though, she only needed 1 because I'd come out here and it would still have some water in it every day, so I haven't felt the need to give her another one. But every once in a while I have a litter that goes through their water very quickly before I can refill it the next day. So I just add another one so they have all the water that they need. So let me show you these litters real quick. All right, so here's Lucky, and here's her babies. They all look very healthy. Her resting mat's getting a little filthy. I'm gonna have to clean that off. But when weaning rabbits, that's always a good time to make sure the hutches are nice and clean, especially after these babies leave the hutch, because they tend to get much more dirty when there's a bunch of rabbits in here, obviously. And here's Thumper, my pure silver fox. So all these babies are pure silver fox kits. Lucky's so shy and bashful. I rebred her as well the same day I bred Lucky. I was only able to get one fall off from her because she's so stubborn, but I'm happy to have the one, and usually it just takes one with her for her to have her babies. So we'll be expecting babies soon from her within the next 3 weeks or so. And she had 5 babies. We lost a couple early on. Alright, so over here is my grow out hutch. I have one grow out hutch, and it's split into 2 sections. One side is for does and one side is for bucks. Now, I cleaned it up the best I can, but the grow out hutches tend to get pretty filthy just because there's a lot of kits in there, and grow outs are more filthy and messy than breeders. So it was pretty messy, and stuff starts to get caked up in the corners. So I made sure that I took the back off, and I just kind of scrubbed away at that, cleaned that off, took my watering can and tried to get most of it off, but you still might see a little bits and pieces here and there in the grow out hutch, but cleaned it off the best I could from the last batch of grow outs. Looking at the back wall of this hutch, you can tell which side I had does on and which side I had bucks on. I'll show that to you here in a minute. There's the mess that the bucks make on the back of the hutch. So this side will just stay the buck side. But the males can get kind of messy, and they spray up onto the walls, and you can see it kind of turns white after some time. But I'm gonna stay with the way I've been doing it, because if I have males on the side where I've had females previously, they're just gonna soil the other side as well. So I'll just keep them on their side, keep the does on the cleaner side, and that'll work out nicely. Now I have 3 litters that I am weaning, and they're all gonna go into these grow out hutches. I'm just going to check and see which ones are does and bucks, split them up into the different hutches, and they will be just fine. I already set up their water and their food. I have the smaller feeders, and then I have the bigger ones, and of course whenever I set up the grow out hutch, I always make sure to give them the bigger feeder, obviously because there's more rabbits in there, and then I just give the breeders the smaller ones because they don't need a big feeder, especially if I've weaned their kits from them and it's just the doe or the buck in the cage. So but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start grabbing rabbits. I'm going to start with Thumper's litter and then go to Lucky's, and then I'll go to Stormy's here in a bit. So these rabbits aren't handled a whole lot because these are grow outs. If I'm ever thinking about keeping one as a breeder, I'll handle it a lot, obviously, so it's well socialized. But these, I haven't handled them too much, so they're a little feisty when I pick them up. But these are my pure silver fox rabbits, and I'm just gonna put one of them in one side for now until I can check and see if it's a boy or a girl. So this one's a boy, so the boy's gonna go over here. And whoops. And this one's a boy as well. All right, 3 more from Thumper's litter. All right, I went ahead and grabbed my net here because I think it'll be easier as I bring more. That way I'm not getting them mixed up, because Thumper had all gray rabbits. They call them the color blue, but they look gray to me, so I just call them gray. But all of hers are gray, so if I start putting them in there, I'll get them mixed up. So this one's a girl. If they have a slit, it's a girl. If it's a little circular opening, it's a boy. It's pretty easy with rabbits. This one's a girl as well. And Thumper has one more over there. I'm gonna check and make sure that it's a girl, because I like to leave girl kits in with mom when I first wean. So I'm gonna go make sure it's a girl. If not, I'm gonna swap it out with a girl. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. All right, so one more in here with Thumper. Hopefully it's a girl. Come on. So this one is a girl, so I'm gonna leave her in with mom for a few days and slowly wean mom in case she was still nursing. And she should be all set. I will need to give her some food, water, and hay after I'm done weaning. But so Thumper's all set to go. And she's also bred. She was also bred last week, so she's gonna be having babies in the next couple weeks. I just weaned her babies. I got one more that I'm gonna leave in for a couple days, and then I'll move that one over, and she'll be ready to go. So now I'm over here at Lucky's litter, my brown doe. She has 5 in here, and I'm just gonna grab a couple and take them over to the grow out hutch. Hers are a lot more tame than Thumper's. Alright, let's see. This one's a girl. This one's a boy. So far we have 3 boys and 3 girls. Alright, I'm gonna go get the last of them. I went ahead and checked them over there. This one's a boy, and this one's a girl. And I left a girl over there with Lucky, so she's all set. Now I just got one more doe over here that I need to wean, and I'll show you the new doe that I'm going to keep as well. All right, so over here I have Stormy. I bred her one time. She had a relatively small litter. She had 5 kits, and we lost 2 pretty early on. So she only has 3 in here right now. And one of them is a brown doe that we're going to keep, and we're actually rehoming Stormy. And the reasoning for that is because Stormy is from my brown doe over there, which is half Rex, half silver fox, which means Stormy is 3/4 silver fox. So I'm trying to breed out the Rex straight. So her litter is obviously more silver fox. You know, I'm not very fluent on, you know, breeding and genetics. when it comes to genetics. But what I do know is if you keep breeding, you can breed out negative traits or the breed that you don't want, especially if you breed kits with their mother or father. You can improve their genetics that way. So that's what I've been doing, and I ended up with a brown doe, so I want to keep that doe because I'd really like to have a brown silver fox doe to breed, which are pretty hard to come by. So I'm trying to breed out that Rex trait. But this one, this brown doe here, we're going to name her Darling. Let's see if I can grab her. And I've been holding her a lot. She's been getting well socialized, but I'm gonna keep her as a breeder, and I just don't have the space to keep Stormy, so I'm gonna rehome Stormy to another homestead and keep Darling here. But she's pretty adorable. It would be really neat if she ended up getting silver tips like the silver fox, but no, I'm not going to hold my breath or anything. So I'm going to leave Darling in here with Stormy, and she has two black kits in here, so I'm going to see if they're male or female and move them over, and then I'll be all done weaning. All right, so this one's a girl. And this one's a boy. All right, so now all I need to do now is put up Stormy's old watering container, give her some food and hay. All the kits are ready, have everything that they need. The only thing that I need to give them, and you want to make sure you do this, is give them resting mats. I have a huge pile of just old plywood, non-pressure treated, obviously, and I have a nice big one here. I try to clean it off, but you know, they're kits and they make a mess, but I try to scrape it off and clean it up as much as I could. But I'm going to give this to my bucks, and I'm going to try to keep it in the front of the cage. They'll pick a corner of the cage to use to go to the bathroom, so I'll try to keep that board in the front, so that way they're not going in the front corner of the hutch. So I got 5 bucks in there. And I got 5 does over here. I don't have as big of a board for my does, so I'm just going to give them 2 resting mats. Alright, so my grow outs, they have food, hay, and water. They're separated out. My does all have a kit left with them, and just slowly wean them, and that's it. That's my weaning process. I got 2 does that are already pregnant. So yeah, they're all ready to go.